Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. Another episode of Caffeine and Green with your man, Connor Cardenas. Per usual, before we get into it today, I just want to make sure that you guys are heading to the coffee shop. That's right. We have a brick and mortar now here in North Park. That is a neighborhood in San Diego, California, for everybody around the world who's listening. So if you haven't come yet, it's 3072 El Cajon Boulevard, and we are open Tuesday through Sunday. We're closed on Mondays for roasting. But yeah, come on in. Me and Sav would love to see you. We'll make you anything. We have a full bar here, guys, and you can also buy any of the coffees that you guys see that we promote on the Instagram or on the website. Of course, I'm talking about that Issa blend, the Bendechones, the El Cajon Boulevard, and or the Notorious. And now we're going to be offering decaf as well. So guys, head on over to the shop, 3072 El Cajon Boulevard. That's right. Come and see me and Sav, and we'll make you some coffee. Caffeine and Green, baby. Let's go. All right. My guest today is Ashley Mcginty. She owns Chouette Designs, which is a custom making, it is a jewelry brand, but she does custom rings for like anywhere for, I think she said it was 4.5 to, damn, I forgot the big number, but it's a big number. It's past 9. I remember that. So she does custom jewelry. She makes amazing jewelry. She has a great story. She's super informative. And this podcast for me was actually super educational. I learned so many things that I had no idea about. And I will let you guys listen just so you can get, have something to look forward to. But it is a super fun conversation. And Ashley is super rad. And we are having a pop-up for her jewelry brand, Chouette Designs, here on Saturday. So make sure that you guys are going to be cruising through at the shop from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Check her out her TikTok. Check out her Instagram. Regardless, you guys are going to be super, super stoked, and she's super awesome, and I'm just super thankful she came through. So, without further ado, my homegirl, Ashley Mcginty. This is your time to shine, homegirl. Let's go. Give me caffeine and green. It's your boy Connor. What's good? Good. Caffeine and green. And we're live.
Woo.
Ashley, what's your last name?
Mcginty.
Mcginty.
Good Irish.
Dude, there you go.
Name.
Dude, hey, I love Irish.
With a French-owned brand.
There you go, baby. Let's go. That's international.
Yeah.
So we'll get right into it. Since you're here, Chouette Designs. It is your company.
Yeah.
You do custom-made jewelry.
Yes.
Bigger size rings.
Yes.
What was the quote? You said nothing bigger than a 9 was like the quote that you got, like kind of got you started.
Yeah. So I actually had an old colleague when I was selling fine jewelry for somebody else tell me that rings, like carrying rings in stock above a size 9 was like kind of wasteful.
Okay.
As if rings are like bananas and they're just going to go bad. And, that really got me because I'm like a 10, 11 ring. So I can't just walk into any store and find it. So, of course, that was super frustrating to me. And now our most popular sizes are like 9.5 to 13.
Ironic.
Yeah. So that guy can suck it.
Fuck yeah. I love that. So, okay, cool. So just, we met at a San Diego Chamber of Commerce event.
Mm-hmm.
It was like some...
Amongst all the lawyers and
the lawyers,
businessmen in suits.
And the soccer team and other things there. Yeah, like we were just cruising. Me and Sav saw you. We started talking, and that's kind of how everything led to this. But now, another reason I wanted to get like right into it is that you're going to be having a pop-up this Saturday here in front of the shop.
Yes.
And you're going to be... we're doing this because when we were talking, you were saying that you don't... people will hit you up on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and they'll be like, hey, like we're coming down. Can we go to your shop? And you're like, well, I don't have a shop, but you'll do pop-ups, and then like you have a good turnout for that.
Yeah. So we're an e-commerce brand only right now, but obviously the goal is to grow and get our own space. But until that time, we want to bolster other, spots in our community and make sure that we can actually like get out and meet people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think we did a great job, like so far. But that was also very interesting. I mean, after I met you, I looked at your Instagram and your TikTok, and I think it was I don't remember if it was the Instagram or the TikTok, but it was one of the two. But dude, I remember seeing like 370,000 views on like one video, and then I saw like 1.1 million. Like I saw 1 million.
Yeah, we've had a couple videos go viral, and I don't know what the secret sauce is with TikTok. Honestly, I just like throw shit at the wall and see what happens. But yeah, we've had a really good response to our existence. So
yeah,
I'm here for it.
Do you feel, and I mean, I know we're kind of maybe getting away from like the jewelry aspect of it, but like one thing I wanted to ask you is like, as a person who I use TikTok a lot for my business, but I don't post on TikTok. I do it because you can use music, like copyrighted music on TikTok, that they don't let you use on Instagram. So
it's funny because I have my accounts like set up like flip-flopped. So like when I set up the TikTok account, I like fucked up and set it up as a business account, so I don't have access to the whole library. And on Instagram, I set it up a long time ago as just like a personal account.
Yeah.
And so I use all the things on Instagram. So yeah. I'm like the opposite problem, but I just got creative with TikTok. I'm like, okay, if I can't use all the sounds, like whatever, what can I create that's original? And I think that's what the like algorithm or whatever likes.
Well, that's what I was going to say. And that was exactly my next point, was that when I watch your stuff on TikTok, it's very organic. And sometimes some of the videos aren't even about jewelry. It's like you having a reaction to like a quote that's written above your head about something about jewelry, or something like 9.5 or whatever. And this is my reaction. It's like you just sitting there and it's like your face, and it's like, 270,000 views, or it's like,
yeah, I mean, I'm a person, I want to connect with people and make sure that they know, like, it's so much more like worth it to shop with somebody that you like vibe with versus like some big box brand that you have no idea like who owns it, what they're about, like, it's the authenticity that people can relate to. But I feel like, do you feel that through TikTok, that because you're limited for like music selection, that people are relating more to you because they're getting more of an authentic version of you? Like just in general, like they see you and they're like, oh my God, like I can relate to this lady. Like, oh hell yeah, or something like that. I never like thought about it in correlation to the music per se. But I definitely see that it's a more authentic connection than Instagram, but it is a challenge because we're a jewelry brand, which is like very visual, right? Like people want to see the gemstones, they want to see the jewels, and it's hard to display that on TikTok in the same way that I can on Instagram. So like TikTok has been great to like get people in the door, and then the people who come over and follow us on Instagram are like the customers. They're the ones that are buying, because then they go seek us out on another platform to see what the jewelry actually looks like. Oh. And then when they love it, that's they're our people, Are
you able to purchase directly through Instagram?
Yeah, we tend not to convert that many sales directly through Instagram. I feel like people prefer to go to the website eventually, but that's like it's the gateway drug, if you will, from TikTok to the website, is like getting to our Instagram page. I'm sure it's different for coffee because it's not as visual, you want to.
Well, I don't know. I think.
I don't know.
I don't know. Like for me, it's very interesting because through how do I say this? Through the evolution of Caffeine and Green, I started off as just an e-commerce, wholesale only. And I did that for a long time. I mean, just during the pandemic. I mean, it was such a different time. I mean, if the pandemic hadn't happened and I had to do this all over again, I don't think I would have been able to do what I did in the time that I did. I mean, my first year in business, I broke even, which was crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's like unreal.
Super unreal. But I also did it like, I mean, I posted a how it started versus how it's going kind of video. And it was like, I remember taking photos and videos I literally was living in a room, and I sold my bed, or I took my bed back to IKEA and got the money back. And then I took that money and I bought a cot at REI, and then I bought a cupping table, and then I literally just slept on the cot, and then I would move the cot away, and I just did everything in my room. When I first started Caffeine and Green, the roasting aspect of it, not the podcast, but it was very interesting because that's all it was. It was strictly through Instagram. I had a website, but it was like I was promoting everything through Instagram. So it's like, hey, click the link, go here, do this, go to the website, and everything was through Instagram. And I was converting all of my sales through that. And then it was like, oh, I sponsored a fighter. So then the fighter would actually just tell people, like, go to the website, do this. So the first couple bag releases, totally just sold through, totally fine. The shirts, same thing. So, I mean, for me, was it visual? Yeah, I mean, coffee's very visual in the sense that people want to watch you make like a pour over or an AeroPress or...
I guess that's true. Those are very aesthetic.
Yeah, super aesthetic. I mean, one of my highest reels right now is almost at 10,000, and it's literally a 15-second clip of me making cold brew sped up. Like, the time
Sometimes,
lapse.
like, the most simple videos are the ones that kill.
Yeah.
It's like, that's why I say there's no rhyme or reason. It's like, you just have to do it.
Yeah. I find that, I mean, dude, you're so right, though, because it's like, I'll make like a brew methods with salve video, and it's like 1 minute or like maybe 45 seconds or 30 seconds. And that video will do, 4,000, 5,000 views. And then I'll do a video, like a 15-second clip of like salve, like sipping a cup of coffee going like, and it's 5,000 views again.
Yeah.
And then it's like cold brew sped up on a time lapse, 7,000, almost 10,000 views. It's like, what? Like, and it's, but at the same time, people want to see what you're doing. When I convert people through the door, I literally, like, I'll usually stop maybe like halfway through the day, or if like I've never seen you before, which is a lot of people right now because we're still new, I'll just be like, hey guys, how'd you hear about us? 90 to 90, I would say it's more 95% of the customers say, I saw you on Instagram. I saw a lady came in the other day and she was like, yeah, I normally go to another coffee shop down the street, but I saw you guys on Yelp, and then also she's like, you popped up on my algorithm somehow on my popular page. And she said, I saw you were down the street. I went to your page. So I said, oh, I'm going to go there. And she ended up kicking it here like all day.
Yeah, people don't realize that the algorithm, the For You page and stuff is location specific, which I think is part of why I get asked so often where my shop is. Because people are like, oh, you're in San Diego. I'm in San Diego. Let me come through. And I'm just like, I don't have anywhere to send you. So, now you can come to Caffeine and Green.
Boom.
Which is why we're all here.
Yes. Do you find that, I mean, because you don't have a store right now, a storefront, do you find it harder to convert customers because they can't like visually see it and then also like try it on?
I mean, a little bit, but I will say, I've like worked years in retail, and it was super important to me to not just have like pretty jewelry and like jewelry that fits, but also the customer experience aspect of it. So, we offer free shipping, free returns. There's a pre-printed return label in every box.
Wow. Really?
So, I do that for you because I know I'm a millennial. I don't have a fucking printer. Sorry, I was like, can I cuss?
No, you can totally cuss. You can totally cuss. Yeah, no, that's super funny, though. That's, like, very convenient.
Yeah, so I've tried to make it, because here's the thing. Like, I'm opening a new market of people, like, I'm trying to sell a product to people who have previously never even been able to think about what their ring size is.
Yeah.
So if you're at home and, you're trying to figure it out, I do have, like, a size guide video on our website so that you can try to measure yourself at home. And we're working on, some fit like solutions for people to find their own sizes down the road. But we want to make it easy for you to exchange it if it doesn't fit, because you may measure yourself and think you're, an 11 and you really need a 10.5.
Okay.
So we've tried to kind of take the guesswork out. So when people learn that and they're like, oh, if this doesn't work out, I can return it. Or, oh, if this doesn't work out, I can exchange it. And she's made it so easy, I don't even have to really think about it. I think that's when we gain that trust. And I've only had one true return in the time since we've launched. Like one true, I want to return this, give me my money back, ever.
Damn.
So I think a lot of small businesses get scared to do returns because, the wrong customer can screw it up for you. I get that. But like, you also gain the trust of everybody around you.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, and then that ties back to the I cannot say that word today, authenticity, because they know that like, oh damn, like, you know, I returned it or it didn't work out, and it was so easy, and the experience was made so nice, and like Ashley's just the nicest, you know, like type of thing.
I try. I'm nice, but I drop some F-bombs. Sorry.
Who doesn't? I was definitely going to say, how long have you been in business?
So we launched in November of 2021. So we haven't even been
wow.
around for a full year. And the response has been overwhelming.
Wow.
Yeah. And I actually didn't think that we would start doing custom work right away. And a customer hit me up before we launched via Instagram. She found me via Instagram and was like, hey, I know it's a little premature. You haven't launched yet, but like, you know, can you help me with an engagement ring? And, you know, at first I was kind of like, am I ready to do this? And a friend like kicked me in the rear and was like, what do you mean? What do you need to just do it?
Yeah. Just go right ahead and handle it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's been like a huge part of our business. We had a video go viral. It wasn't on our page. It was one of our customers who's also has a big TikTok following. And they posted a mutual proposal. So them and their partner, they both came to me and I designed both of their rings. And I asked each of them, how are you going to propose? And they gave me the same story. So neither of them knew what the other was preparing. And they were on like a roller derby team. And they decided they were going to do like a big skate in Long Beach with their friends, with their derby team. And one of them turned around and proposed in front of everyone. And then the other one pulls the ring out of their pocket and proposes right back. And that video went viral. And they tagged us. And so all of these people came out of the woodwork and said, wait, can you do my engagement ring too? So now we've helped like over 20 couples get engaged. And there's quite a few people that are waiting on their engagements, but we have their rings.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that was like within the first year of business, which is wild.
6 months. Oh, wait. What month are we in right now? Oh, shit.
September.
Oh, my God. Okay. No, never mind. Sorry. I was like...
Yeah, I mean, it's still pretty,
dude,
considering...
No, wow. So you're what is it? We're in September, so October, November. Okay, yeah, so 2 months away from a full year?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. A double proposal. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Like,
it's the LGBT community will lead us in these trends. So
is that the thing?
Yeah.
More people do that?
Yeah, I mean... Clearly,
it's common. It's like, but I mean,
it's starting to be. It's starting to be. I think it's a trend that we're seeing in the jewelry world, and jewelers are actually talking about it. Because I mean, the funny thing is, in the jewelry world, we're talking about it so much because it's like, here's an opportunity to sell more rings, right? If you try to like, kind of egg on this double proposal, or at least get the like information of both customers. But it was just confirmation that we're way ahead of the trends. Because I went to this trade show, a jewelry trade show in Vegas in June, and that's what they were talking about. They were like, if you want to know about the jewelry trends, look to the gay community. They're the ones doing double proposals. They're doing unique engagement rings. They're shopping small. You know, they're doing
small mean?
Like, they're not going to big box stores. They're not going into Kay Jewelers or
Tiffany's.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're finding businesses like us, and they're opting for alternative gemstones. So they might not be doing traditional diamonds. They might do lab grown or emeralds or like something more unique. And it's so funny because I was listening to this panel of all these jewelry experts telling all these like old school jewelers what the trends are going to be and to look to the gay community for like what's going to happen next. And I'm sitting there like, oh, this is like a checklist. I've literally already done every single trend in this year, my first year of business. So I'm like, we're on to something.
Yeah.
So we'll get a storefront one day.
Dude, I'm still so blown away by this double proposal because it's like when I was married before, and when I proposed to my my ex, she like ruined it. Like she ruined the first proposal so badly. Like, but to be fair, we were partying the night before, and we went and saw Talib Kweli perform with like a like a band. So this rapper was performing with a band. It was like unplugged. It was really cool. And then so we got turned, and then we wake up in the morning, and like I got up early, and like I was getting everything ready, and I was gonna do it at the beach, and blah 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 blah. And it was like calling my ex. I'm like, hey, like wake up. Nothing. And so I'm literally at the beach waiting for her to answer the phone just so I can go up and set up everything. Like I proposed to her in donuts and it like I got all these like which was like a whole nother thing, which was super hard. But it was like getting like actually donuts made that actually spelled out like I had the like a C donut, an A donut, like and basically will you marry me? So it was a shitload of donuts. And I had Donut Bar in downtown San Diego do it. And so finally I go home and I open the door and I'm like, babe. She's like, baby? I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm sleeping. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, stay up there. Stay up there right now. And then, like, I do it at the house, and it was way better. It was fine. It was cute. And, she said yes, and it was fine. But it was so hard just to plan that. I can't even, like, the thought of having a double proposal, it's like that. The other person has to know,
No,
right?
the beauty of it is that they didn't know.
That is what is so random.
Yeah, so they both came to me to design each other's rings. So they had clearly talked about marriage.
Yeah.
And like knew that it was coming. But the fact that they both planned the same thing, because I asked them, they both respectively came to pick up their own rings at different times, like for the other person. And I asked, I was like, so how are you going to propose? Like, how are you going to do it? And they're, and then they like share this little secret like plan. And I'm sitting on this secret, like, oh, I'm the only person in the world right now who like knows that they're both going to do this.
What are the chances though? They both are gonna do it at the same. Because like my thing.
But
would be
I mean, they just like knew each other so well. They were like so in tune. Because this is like their roller derby thing that they both do together. This is like how they met, what they love doing. It was like a whole thing. So it's like, I guess when you're like that in sync, like they both kind of had the same idea, which was awesome.
Interesting.
So it would be challenging to coordinate. That's one of those moments like. If it happens organically, great, but like don't try to force it,
Yeah, because it'd be like, wait, what are the odds you're gonna be like? Because I feel like for me, I feel like it would be, I'm gonna do this, and and then the other person, like, what if I go to propose and then I ruin their proposal, and then if they were trying to propose me and they ruin mine, like fuck, like kind of thing, like what? No. Like,
I think we're also seeing like the trend of mutual proposals later. So like,
what does that mean?
Like one partner will propose and then like a few months later, they'll propose back to their person, like to give them a ring as well. And so obviously this has mostly transpired via the gay community, but we're seeing this more and more with straight couples too, where the man may propose initially and then 2 or 3 months later, the woman will come back and give him a ring. Kind of just like a mutual, like, I care enough about you to plan a surprise as well. Like obviously they've already talked about marriage and, she said yes. So it's like a done deal. But it's a cool way to surprise your partner.
I mean, yeah. My friend Devin and Kevin, they've been together for...
That's so great that they're named Devin and Kevin, by the way. Sorry.
No, dude, it's super funny. I've known Devin and Kevin, as long as I've lived in San Diego, Devin and Kevin have been together. So almost 15 years. Like, I think I'd been here a couple years before I met Kevin. So yeah, they've been together for a very, very long time. And I don't remember if it was at the grand opening, but it was recently, and they came in here. Fuck, where was it? Either way. All of a sudden, it was just like, oh, it was on Instagram. I saw, it's like, we got engaged. And I was like, yo, what? Fucking finally. Like, yes, And, I mean, and I was with my ex for 9.5 years. And they were together before that. And they're just still together. So now they're just getting married. And when they came into the shop, and I was like, oh, my God, congratulations, guys. So good to see you. They were like, I was like, Kevin, so how did you do it? And he was like, she did it. And I was like, what do you mean she did it? And he was like, she proposed to me. I was like, what? I was
Hell like, yeah, flipping the script.
Dude, I was like, yo, Kevin, you got it like that? I was like, yo, I'm trying to get a girl to give me flowers. You got a girl to propose to you? Damn, son. Like, That's super crazy, and like in a good way. In a good way. So yeah, I mean, I guess that could be like the trends. I guess like things are always evolving, and I think that's super rad. I mean, if
it's so cool to be like a fly on the wall of people's love stories like that, because I like obviously have a tiny part in it when we're designing these rings, but then you kind of send the ring off and it's up to them to like finish the story. But it's really like sometimes I get emotional like when clients send me back their pictures from their proposals and stuff, because it's just like, damn, we like helped do that.
Yeah. Have you had to do, I mean, not had to do, but have you had the opportunity to do like a wedding band? There's like, I know there's bands for women, there's bands, and then there's like
there's the engagement ring.
Yeah.
And then there, you can do a wedding band for the like ceremony. Some people are opting out of doing that. Just, it's like one more thing. You don't necessarily need it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've done bands. People like to stack too, or they want, we've had customers who just want a simple band to start with. And like, that's all they want. They don't want the like huge diamond encrusted like engagement ring.
Yeah.
They just want something that they're like, I can wear this every day and bang it around and like not stress out about having a, big expensive rock in my ring. And that's cool too. I think it's neat to see like us get away from the traditional, like, again, the big box stores.
Yeah.
And like, you're supposed to spend 3 months salary on a ring and like all these like old school mentalities about what getting engaged is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And it's like, it should look like whatever you want it to look like.
Yeah, I would agree with that completely. I definitely didn't spend 3 months worth of money on a ring. No. Like, it was still a dope-ass ring.
If anybody wants to do that, please call me. I will happily create the most extravagant ring you ever saw. But, like, that's kind of unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of dope ones. I mean, I guess I went to a big box store, but my ex is from Hawaii. And so I went to Nahoku, I think was what it's called. It's like at the Fashion Valley Mall. It's like a Hawaiian ring store thing. So we went there and I picked one out, and I found one that like it was somewhat of what I had imagined that I'd always wanted to give to like my one day wife. And dude, it was dope. But she also did the stack. Like she wanted the other ring too. So like it was like the engagement plus whatever ring I gave her on the day we actually got married. On top of it, and then that was like the one she would wear. I don't even know. Actually, it's been a while, but like she would wear the smaller one, I think, or the engagement one. I don't know. She wore one of them all the time, and then there was like working out rings. It was like I had the workout like for roasting, so I had like rubber rings, I don't remember what they're called, but they're like rubber rings, and then there was.
Which we don't do the rubber rings, so don't hit me up for that. Sorry, guys. No. That's not my wheelhouse, but they're cool.
They were super good. Like because I always go running.
I was like, somebody's going to call me and be like, oh, you do a rubber ring? Can I get that? Dude, I'm going to be like, nope, I don't know.
I had my actual wedding ring was so dope, and I want to like do something with it because I still have it. Like, it was kind of weird. I was like wearing it after like, I don't know, I had it for like 6 months after I'd been divorced, and I was like, spent so much money on this ring. I was like, dude, I got to do something with this. So I started re-wearing it, and then like my friends would like, are you wearing your wedding ring? But I was wearing it on the other hand, and I was like, yeah, but I was like, it's such a dope ring. They're like, aren't you freaking out about that? I was just like, I don't really care. But then I'm like, I should just melt it down. But it's like, it's so hard to find. Like, I like the, it's like a band, but then it has like a bit, like a block, like it's like
an inset.
I don't know. I don't know. As you can tell, I don't wear anything. I don't wear watches. I don't wear nothing. So it's like when I'm trying to figure out how to talk about it's just like a pinky, like the pinky ring that I want.
Oh, like
it's
a signet ring.
Is that what it's called? What does
yeah,
that
like
mean?
the mob boss looking.
Yeah, kind of like it's like flat on top and it's blocky, but then it's an actual ring.
It's a signet ring.
So I had that on my wedding band, but it was bigger, and it was like there's some kind of super strong ass like koa wood. That's what it was.
Oh,
koa wood from Hawaii. It's supposed to be the strongest wood that was ever built or was ever like found out. And they actually made the hakulea. I think that's what it's called. The hakulea is what the Polynesian people sailed and like followed the stars and came to like the Polynesians found Hawaii and stuff. I'm sorry if I brutalize the name, but that's exactly what the ship they did was made out of that koa wood. So it's like only found in Hawaii. It's super strong, and it was in my ring, and it was like it's still in the ring, but it was like white gold. And I was like, son, I felt like I remember going in the store, like putting it on, and I was like, hold on real quick, man. And like there's a mirror, and like I just like squatted down and like held up my hands like a rapper. I was like, what's poppin'? I was like, damn, I feel like amigo.
The power of trying on a ring in your size.
Dude. I mean, no, it wasn't even in my size. I've had to get everything resized. That ring got resized. After I left your house, when we did the shoot, I started looking up size 5.5 for like the pinky ring, and dude, I couldn't find it anywhere. I was like, so I basically have to buy like a size 8 and then have it get it sized down, right?
Or we do something custom.
You do something custom? Could you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, duh. You stupid. I'm so dumb. But yeah,
you've had a long day.
I know.
A long last night, a long day.
Dude, oh man, last night was so fun though. I definitely wouldn't have stayed out as late, but I mean, it was. You know what it was? It was the last gin and tonic. I realized I like gin and tonics. They're so good. They're so good.
They really are,
dude. Dangerous. I remember being young.
You do? You remember that time?
I mean, barely, but I remember being young, drinking gin, and I was like, "This tastes like literal mouthwash." I was like, "This is disgusting."
And now that's all we drink.
And now that's like it's that or tequila, and then lots of beer. But the beer, to be fair, I don't pay for. It's just always given to me, which was kind of like, this is like convenient. Like open up a coffee shop and literally now people just give me beer. I'm like, yes.
Solid
Mama,
plan.
I made it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Man, what are people going to give me when I open up my jewelry shop?
You're going to get such cool shit because you're dealing with money.
Yeah.
So you're like, they're probably going to come in and they're like, here's a 75-year-old age scotch. There you go. It's like... This literally tastes like straight gasoline, but I'm going to drink it.
Right. Listen.
Dude, I actually worked at Tiffany's.
You were telling me.
Yeah. That was an interesting job. People spend money, man. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say the one interesting thing about like going viral on TikTok is that the demographic skews a lot younger than Instagram. So we've gotten a lot of people who will, look at our site and look at, what custom may cost. And they'll be like, this is crazy expensive. What are you doing? Charging for diamonds and gold. I can just get this at Walmart. And it's like, do you guys know what people spend at Tiffany's?
If they're saying spend at Walmart, they're not your demographic.
No, I know.
It's
100%. It's so interesting, though, just because when those videos pop off and go viral, it's like, you see a lot of interesting comments.
Dude, it's what's so funny. I mean, I don't know if you deal with this, which I'm assuming you do. But people who want the most custom shit and want the most stuff done, they are always the cheapest people, and they will nickel and dime you at every corner and try to be like, yeah, we want to do a custom coffee bag with the custom 2 labels, the 4x4, the 2x1, both custom. And then they want, a custom blend, but they don't want to pay $10 a pound. They're like, oh my God, this is so expensive. And it's like, so, you might end up getting an invoice that like for a custom project of 50 coffee bags, you're looking at like $550, maybe $670, like $550 to $670. So it's like, yeah. You're paying for the bags. You're paying for everything. You're paying for the coffee. And you do it.
They're paying for your expertise,
and that too. Yeah. And then it's
your time and energy and knowledge. Like, people don't think about that.
Dude, yeah. And then they're like, oh my God, like, we're just going to have to put the hold on this. And it's like, wow, bro. Like, I had meetings with you. I do this. And then you bail. It's like, I don't know what's more insulting. The fact that I wasted the time or the fact that I actually did the work. And then
that's so
on the
frustrating.
day, like the day where all you need to do is just pay the invoice, we're good. But it's like, I wasted my time to do a message with you too. Like, damn, son, or a meeting with you. It's like, wow. And then they'll like always like get some like, there's some unexpected costs here. It's like, I told you about these costs. Like, what are you talking about? Like, maybe take some notes, or something. Like, what? why do you do this? Like, why? Oh my God, it's so shocking. Like, dude, no, bro, go somewhere else then. Like,
I mean, people definitely have interesting expectations sometimes when it comes to jewelry, especially when, they see what the pricing may be on the website for a ready to buy item. And our stuff on the website is sterling silver with a gold plating or vermeil, genuine gemstones. So it's like a pretty solid quality product, but it's not the same as like a solid gold piece. So sometimes they'll see that what we have on the site, and then they'll want to do like a custom piece in solid gold for a similar price point. And it's just like, this can't be done. Or they want to swap out the stone for a diamond, and then they expect it to be under $1,000 or something. And it's like,
dude, it's a diamond, bro.
I know. Well, and it's like, of course, COVID inflation, like prices have gone up for everything. Well, the same is true in the diamond and gold world. I mean, we never have sourced Russian diamonds, but like Russian diamonds were supplying most of the commercial diamond industry.
What does that mean, a Russian diamond? Is that a thing?
So, yeah. So, I think a lot of people have this preconceived notion that like all diamonds come out of Africa or like India.
Really? India? I had no idea.
Yeah, so we actually source a lot of our stuff from India, a lot of our stones. But actually, most commercially mined diamonds prior to this last year came out of Russia. What? They're one of the largest exporters of diamonds in the industry. But because the mines are partially owned by the Russian government, they are now, and they're funding the war against Ukraine, they are now considered blood diamonds because they're funding human conflict.
Whoa, wait,
yeah,
wait.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to need you to run this
so
back. So
diamonds have gotten a lot more expensive, and people don't realize it because they didn't know that the diamonds came from Russia in the first place.
So wait, how are diamonds, they're partially owned by the Russian government. So that means there's some mines that are private, there's some mines that are
there's no privately owned Russian mines.
No.
They are all partially owned by Putin.
Okay. So then
and they
so
like
the
abuse indigenous people who own those or like who have to work in those mines. I mean, it's horrible.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So they take the money from the sales of the diamonds to fund the war against Ukraine?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
So
so those are considered blood diamonds now.
Now they are, yeah. It's crazy. Now, I wouldn't hold it against a jeweler who got their stuff prior to that, but now it's like you have to be extra vigilant about where your stuff is coming from. So, I mean, we mostly source out of either India, Canada, or lab grown.
Canada makes diamonds too? What? Is there diamonds everywhere in the world?
Pretty much. So diamonds are so there's only two gemstones that form in the Earth's mantle instead of the crust, and that's diamonds and peridot. So,
peridot.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's like a green stone. We'll have to hook you guys up, caffeine and green. Caffeine and peridot.
Oh, damn, son. Okay.
So we actually have a peridot pieces in our collection.
Okay.
But, yeah, so these diamonds can be found kind of anywhere in the world because they're so deep within the earth.
How do you go about finding a diamond? Is there like do you have it? Because if it's that deep in the ground, is there like a what do you
gotta dig.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like digging, yes, but like
you gotta pull it all apart.
Is there like not a magnet, but what are those things that you like, a sensor, or do you guys like scan things and like you're like, oh, there's diamonds in this part of like the mountain or something like that?
To be fair, all those like little intricate details, I am not the expert on diamond mining, so I couldn't give you all the details on how they find the deposits specifically.
Okay, deposits, that's what it's called.
Yeah, that's the nerd gemology term. But yeah, I don't know exactly how they go finding these deposits, but I'm sure I'm sure I could Google it later.
Yeah.
I will be Googling this later to find out how they source it, but yeah, there's diamond mines all over the world.
That is so interesting. I've never knew that, and because as you're even saying it to me right now, all I hear in my head is "Diamonds Are Forever," but Sierra Leone, it's like Kanye West song. So it's like, I was under the impression that they only came from Africa. Until you told me right now, never knew that they came from Russia, Canada, India. India of all places. Like,
Yeah.
what?
India was one of the first places that humanity like discovered diamonds.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, actually a lot of famous Indian monuments were covered in diamonds. You can blame the Brits for that disappearing.
They took them all?
Oh, they took a lot of stuff from India.
Whoa. Well, wasn't it called like the Dutch East India Company? Like something like that?
East India Company.
It wasn't called Dutch?
I don't think so.
Huh. Like but we're talking about like the British Empire.
Yeah.
They were like running shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They
Look
took
who's tough now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, that's super crazy. Wow. Dude, I'm learning so much.
I know.
I feel like
I
I'm like
geek
at
out.
a history. I'm like at a history lesson right now.
I like geek out about gemstones and like histories and like stories of famous gems and like where they all come from. But it matters so much to me, and it matters so much to my customers.
Yeah.
Usually when they find us, they're looking for a brand that cares about where their gemstones come from. Like, where do you source materials? Because, you know, we vote with our dollar, right? So if we want to like support our community, both locally and globally, it's like, where does everything come from? And are the people that are sourcing our gems being, you know, taken care of appropriately? And so like, I'm pretty proud that all our gemstones can be traced back to their origins.
Do you find that there's huge discrepancies in how much we here as Americans, or just people in general around the world, are paying for diamonds in comparison to what the people who are mining the diamonds are getting paid? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, there's definitely a discrepancy. I mean, it's kind of like any global supply chain, really.
You know, like with coffee,
Yeah.
same thing. So it's a big in coffee is making sure that the farmers who are supplying the coffee to us are getting paid a livable wage, because in a lot of countries where coffee is the main export, or what they're getting, like what they're giving us, they're not making that much money on the green coffee, that they're selling to us. But yet you know, come to America or Australia or anywhere where there's a huge coffee scene, and you know, there's $8 lattes, like $7 lattes, and I'm not hating on anybody, because I have $8 lattes. You know, you add oat milk, get an extra shot, do this. It's like you're striking, you know, you're raising up the cost, but at the same time, we're making more money off of that. So there's huge discrepancies, and there's a lot of people who are actively trying to get better wages for farmers and do that thing. So I would imagine, like, when you're saying, it's very relatable to diamonds.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I think people, a lot of times people think like lab grown is the solution, right? Like, if we make it in a lab, it's going to be the same quality product. You don't have to worry about like exploiting people for their labor. I will say, if we up and got rid of natural diamonds tomorrow and stopped mining everywhere, a lot of economies would collapse. A lot of people's, work would cease. And so it's like, how are we, it's such a big conversation, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's like, how do we make sure that when we mine or when we source natural diamonds, that people are genuinely being taken care of and they're able to like feed their families? And when we can't guarantee that, that's when we opt for the lab grown. So I think, like, people ask me all the time, which is better, lab or mined? And I'm like, both. Yes, we need them both. It's just like, we need to be more conscious about like what we're doing. Yeah.
I mean, with everything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that translates to everything on the world. How did you get into becoming a jeweler?
So I actually got my degree in fashion design. Nice. So I was like, I had all intention of going into plus size fashion design, into the apparel world. And after I graduated from college, I worked a bunch of odd jobs here and there. And like, I was in LA, so it was like, I did a lot of film based stuff. So things that would like had a hard end date. And it's like, okay, bye, find your next gig. And then I got a job at a department store in the jewelry department. And I loved it. first of all, because it was just like, oh, you can change an outfit so dramatically based on the accessories that you pair with it. And then it's like so sentimental. Like the jewelry world in particular is so sentimental. People are always marking an important occasion or like giving a really special gift. And there's so much like symbolism in different gemstones and little jewelry motifs. And I mean, jewelry is also something that is wearable that we can physically see from other cultures throughout history. So if you walked into a museum, like there's still jewelry that a king and queen was wearing, like behind a case. And that's not the same in apparel.
Yeah.
You know, like your clothes, you wear them, they, fall apart, over the years, you get holes in them and you toss it, right? So there was something about jewelry that like always drew me in. And then I started working, I worked at many different locations of that department store selling jewelry. And then I started working for another fine jeweler, and I was going around to the same department store teaching the employees how to sell and merchandise fine jewelry. So it really came from the sales side. So I worked retail for a super long time. And I think that really helped because it was like, well, here's what's missing in the market. So it's like I have this firsthand knowledge being on the sales floor and seeing people walk in every single day. And what are they asking for that we don't have? Well, size inclusive jewelry. And also jewelry that includes more unique gemstones, alternatives to diamonds. Like, where's that at?
Damn. That's super interesting. So at what point did you make the transition to like doing your own thing?
2020.
Oh wow! So this was
COVID.
Like super recent.
Well, I had a bug in the back of my head, like in probably 2019. I remember coming home and complaining to my wife about how frustrated I was that, I can't even wear the rings I'm selling. I'm coming in every day and I got to sell them. And then I got to tell these customers that come in that are my same size that, hey, it's going to be a $200 charge and you're going to have to wait 4 to 6 weeks. And, oh, you're never going to even be able to try it on until you put the money down for it. And we create it brand new for you. And so it's like overall a worse experience. It's frustrating. It's supposed to symbolize like a fun time. Like buying jewelry is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be an exciting time. Yeah. You're trying to treat yourself. And then I'm the gatekeeper over here who's telling you no. Like that sucks. So, I came home like pissed off one day about it. And my wife was like, if you want it done right, you better do it yourself.
Facts.
and I was like, you right.
Yeah. Big facts.
Yeah. So, I kind of sat with that for a while, and I always I thought for the longest time, like I'm going to have to go back to school and like learn jewelry making, and like really it's going to take a whole lot of time. So in the meantime, I took this job, teaching others how to sell and merchandise fine jewelry. And, then 2020 happened. COVID happened. We all got sent home to work from home. And, I found a mentor there who kind of helped me put some pieces together.
Sick.
And she was so helpful to me. She was like, listen, you don't actually need to go back to school and relearn all this stuff. You don't need to learn jewelry making. I actually work with a lot of great makers who help us manufacture. It's not me. I design everything because I have the design background. But she's like, if you go back and take all the time to learn and to make it yourself, you're not going to be able to scale it. You're not going to be able to make it as fast. And you're not going to get your product out to people who need it right now. Like, you're actually going to do a disservice to your customer if you wait longer.
Damn. Okay.
And I was like, okay, thanks for that, kick in the ass. Because, you have this, imposter syndrome. Like, am I qualified to do this?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
Yeah. Like, am I really the authority on it? But, then I sit down and have these conversations. I'm like, I could go all day about gemstones and design and, what we're doing for our customers and our, custom and all the mutual proposals and trends and what have you. And I'm like, I can.
Yeah.
And I should.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, to your point too, I feel very much the imposter syndrome all the time. I think I just feel
so
more
real.
comfortable. I feel more comfortable now trusting myself as opposed to, I don't know, but like still sometimes in my head I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, like what is going on? Like are you really doing this right now? Like, you know, and cause then I still don't look at myself as anything special. I just did what needed to be done. Like,
right.
You know, I wanted to do it myself.
You got to bring the coffee to the people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So but to your point, the imposter syndrome is very, very real. And that's something that I continuously battle with. But I also think it's very humbling. And it like kind of lets you know, like, hey,
100%.
You know, take it down a notch, you know, or something like.
It also keeps the like little editor in the back of your head sometimes where it's like, you know, how hard do I need to go at this? Like, am I like doing too much? Am I taking too much on?
Mm-hmm.
Like, or should I keep going and push through? And it's like, yeah, having that imposter syndrome voice, like it sucks. And we obviously have to work through that. But in a weird way, it's also kind of comforting that it's like, okay, but I must be doing something right if it's kind of scaring me.
Yeah.
If it's like pushing me out of, like if I'm not comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm probably doing the right thing.
I saw a quote on my friend's door once when I was in Hawaii. And she had like custom painted her whole house. And then she made her door, it was like a quote right on the front of the door. And it said, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. And I was like,
Facts.
that's such a good quote. I mean, I've seen the quote before, but the fact that she custom painted it on her door and it looked super dope, I was like, damn. I was like, to look at that every day, I would be like, damn, like, I got to get up and get it every day. And I'm already motivated. So if I saw that in my room, I'd be like, shit, you got to get out here today. Why are you not scared today, kind of thing. Yeah. That's so sick. I mean, I've never really thought about it, I guess, until you've said it, but the connection of the jewelry and the moments that are so special to your customers that they want to share with you, and it's really creating that bond, that emotional connection. Do you remember every single piece you've done?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we haven't been in business that long, so like, yeah. And I try to create like a little visual. So when we do pop-ups and stuff, I have like a little binder that's full of, you know, sketches and finished photos and things of the custom work that we've done. Mm-hmm. A, so I don't forget, and B, so other people can see it and be inspired. You know, and maybe they want a custom piece down the road. Yeah. They can see like what it is we can actually accomplish for them. And also it's kind of nice to have on hand because I can't always post about the engagement rings because a lot of our couples are not engaged yet. They have not had the proposal happen. Yeah. So I'm just kind of waiting in the wings on like when I can share it on social media. But in the meantime, I can put it in my little binder and like have the reminder of like what it is that we did. And like every couple's story is so cool and unique and different. So yeah, there's always like, so far I have remembered everything.
Sick. Dude, that's so dope. I mean, why, like, so you start it goes into 2020, you have a mentor, you get told you don't have to, you know, go back to school, do these things. So what was the straw that broke the camel's back? Like, what was the day you're like, I'm doing this?
Well, I think, you know, I had got, the job that I had was in LA. And my wife had gotten a job down here. And so we were like, we started off 2020, like January 2020, we were like, we're going to scope out both cities and see which one we like. Because we didn't want to kill either of our dreams, you know? We'd both gotten these cool jobs. We were going to just go for it. We got like Amtrak passes for the weekends. And then the world shut down. And my spot in LA felt very, very small. And it was like, I can't go anywhere here. I can't see anyone. It's like, it was like claustrophobic. So
So you were living in LA during the week.
Yeah.
And your wife was here and you guys would see each other on the weekends. So it's like flip-flop, whatever.
But then when everything shut down, San Diego won very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh no, I got to get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, you know, when the office reopened, it just like the spark wasn't there anymore.
Okay.
It was like I could work for myself. I could be in San Diego with my wife. And then things were getting kind of crazy again with, the protests in town and like curfews, and like LA just wasn't it.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird and scary. And my boss at the time had zero respect for it all. It was like, no, you still have to come into the office. You still have to come do all the things. And we're not even going to acknowledge anything that's happening on social media. We're just going to be like, hang out with our heads up our asses. And I was like, yeah, I can't do this anymore.
Wow.
So I dipped in November of 2020 and spent that year figuring out the business. And then we launched November 2021.
So you left that job in November 2020, and then you took a year after that to figure it out.
Yeah,
to
so
kind of put stuff together.
Yeah, we probably would have launched a lot sooner, but things were like the supply chain was so crazy that we still had a lot of issues, like sourcing things. And I'm pretty particular about where all our stuff comes from. So it was like, I got to make sure that stuff is vetted. We do some manufacturing out of India, and luckily my mentor had physically been to that facility. And so it was like, let me pick your brain. Let me like get all your pictures, anything that you took from that trip. Like, I need to know. And like, now I'm so cool with our manufacturer. They're great. They want to have us to the factory.
I was going to say,
as soon as
have you gone to India?
Oh, I have been to India, but not for manufacturing, but that'll happen. So I'm going to go.
Sick.
Yeah.
Damn.
I want to be super involved in like every aspect of where our stuff comes from.
Do they speak? I mean, well, yeah, they probably do. Like I was gonna say, they speak English.
British
there.
rule happened, so they speak English.
Yeah. Do they? But then they speak
Punjabi.
Is it Punjabi?
Is it a language? I mean, that might be a language, but there's like a zillion languages over there because there's a lot of people, and so there's like Hindi.
Hindu.
People speak Arabic. I think there's like multiple different like dialects within regions too.
Oh Jesus!
So that's why it's like, yeah, they all like everyone speaks English though, for the most part.
That's the universal.
So it's
Wow.
Damn you,
sorry.
colonial rule,
dude. I was gonna say I'm sorry. I call it Punjabi. Like I thought that was like.
I mean, you might be. I don't
Hindi.
Actually,
I think it's Hindi though. I think you are right.
Okay.
I mean, like.
I think you're thinking there's like a region.
Like, because a person's like a Punjabi. Like, there's like it's like a Mexican.
It's like a state. I think.
Like something like that.
We need to get a map.
I gotta Google it.
Somebody's gonna be like, you guys.
Hold on.
Your Indian listeners, I apologize.
I have some listeners in India actually too. So hold on.
Shout out to you guys.
Punjabi Delhi. There's Punjabi dress. Punjabi. What is this? What? Okay, wait, hold on. What is Punjabi? Okay. So I'm not wrong. For a second there, I was worried that I was saying something bad. Hold on, Punjabi. No, you're right. Oh, you're right. It's a state.
Bam.
Oh wait, stupid Google.
We're out here Googling in real time.
I know, but this is how you figured it out. Oh, Punjabi. Okay. What does Punjabi mean? Okay. A native or inhabitant of the region of Punjab. An Indic language spoken mainly in the northwestern India and eastern Pakistan.
Okay, so it is a language. It's a language and a state.
We're both
Got
right.
it. Solved it.
Dude, we learned more stuff today. Dude, this podcast has been like unusually very informative for me today. Like in very educational.
Okay. Well, I hope it's not boring though.
No, hell no.
Okay, good.
No, I'm asking you so many questions.
I love it.
I'm like genuinely interested. Diamonds are made in Russia. Or I mean, not made in Russia, but diamonds are from Russia and Canada and India. Never knew. Punjab, a state and a dialect. Son, Kobe.
Yes.
I will never forget this now. So you start 2020. You get the vetted in India manufacturing spot. You get things going. How did you start to do that? Like, I mean, obviously all of that's probably fun for you. But like when I started Caffeine and Green, the headache of getting everything dialed, we were talking about trademarking before the podcast began. And, you know, business licenses, tax certificates, doing all the really, really nitty gritty shit stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And but then you get into the fun stuff like launching, and you have a couple prototypes or
when samples come in, that's the best day ever.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, when did that start taking place? Like, was it the over the whole year? You were kind of like getting ready, or was it like 2 months before?
Well, it was like in the beginning, I was really like, I had no information, so it was like really starting from the ground up and like hitting up my contacts of people, just like, hey, who do you know? Who can I talk to? Where should I even start?
Yeah.
And like parking our social media accounts, just like create like existing. Like figuring out, a website that just says coming soon. Like, yeah, figuring out what kind of licenses do we need, LLC, the sales tax stuff, like, just all the boring stuff, rather, took so long. But I think the fun stuff really was, like, the ball started rolling in the summertime.
Okay.
Like, I was kind of hoping that we would be able to launch, like, we knew we were going to launch fall. But I was hoping it'd be like late August fall, not November fall. But, the world was like in a different place, supply chain problems. We were just waiting. It was like a hurry up and wait kind of situation.
Hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. No, again, the pandemic, man, I know we were talking about this earlier. I don't remember now if it was before the podcast or during the podcast, but the whole thing during the pandemic, it was scary times, and yes, it was uncertain times at the very beginning, but it was such a crazy time for so many people and for so many different reasons. Us specifically right now, we both launched our businesses during the pandemic. Mine October 1st of 2020, I actually launched it, but I got it July 8th was the day I incorporated it or LLC'd it, whatever. Excuse me. But it was such a busy time because it was figuring it all out. And I know because you're starting your business, it's like every day, even though you're not making any money setting it up, you're just drained and you're like, damn, and you just keep working.
You're doing the jobs of like 17 people.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Because I'm like, I came from, the sales side of like exactly what I'm doing now, but like, with a team of 50 people and like all these different departments. Mm-hmm. And here I am like Frankensteining this together. Like, okay, I'm the social media manager and I'm the customer service manager and I'm the logistics manager and I'm designing and I'm, like there's a million things, you're shipping and deliver, like you're figuring out, all the admin stuff and like what your website's going to look like. And, you could work
every minute of every day. Yeah.
I mean, and I don't really know how to like turn it off either. Like when I'm just like chilling on the couch, scrolling through Instagram, it's like, no, this is still work. Like I'm still looking like what's trending. What are my competitors doing? Like, what do I need to save? Who do I need to reach out to? What influencer can I link up with or whatever? So,
dude, yeah. I think, that one for me, I think I find myself when I'm on my business Instagram, like I follow other coffee companies and coffee shops, but I don't want to be influenced by what they're doing. So I will watch some of their stuff. But to be honest, sometimes I'm like, it's kind of lame. But at the same time, and no hate, but it's just like sometimes it's like, where did people think that was going to be tight? Why did you think that was going to be cool? Because I didn't think it was cool. And not that like I'm, almighty and like my word is law, but I'm a creative person and I'm like, you could do it so much better. A little bit more effort, bud. Or just like, or something, what is it? Why didn't you do that? But I also feel like if you watch too much of other people's shit, you're too easily influenced by them, and then your stuff starts to look like their stuff.
Oh, that's true. 100%.
You know what I mean?
I think it's like I'll comb through it to see like what sounds are trending or like what transitions people are doing and it's like, I take bits and pieces. Mm-hmm. But as far as like actual design of the jewelry or something, no, I'm not really paying attention to that.
That's interesting. Because you're designing, everything's coming straight from your dome. Like you're not like, do you have people who like collaborate with you on a design, or is it like somebody will tell you, if like I walked up to you and I was like, hey, like I really want like a 5.5 size singlet pinky ring. I want it in gold. I want a flat front. Can you make that? And then you would just basically design it, or would like, maybe you're like, or maybe it was something super crazy and you're like, you know what? I'm not the best person to do this, or like I can make this happen, but then you have somebody you collaborate with and bounce ideas off of, or like maybe they can help sketch it in a way that you couldn't do it, or no?
I mean, I'm still like, since we haven't been in business a whole year, I feel like I haven't come across all of these scenarios just yet. I did have somebody reach out to me about like leather jewelry, and I'm like, that's not really like something that I'm capable of doing, and I don't have the connections to a maker who does. So it's like there's some things I'm learning as people are asking.
Yeah.
But I haven't done, I mean, I have floated the idea of some collab opportunities in the future with some friends who might be interested. Like, if you have a large following on social media, you got some good style, like you have some ideas, like we could do a, so-and-so with Chouette Designs collab. I think that would be super dope. But we're not quite there yet. Okay.
Sorry, actually, I had too many questions in my head that was popping in, like kind of like jam-packed, I wanted to ask you, how did you come up with the name?
Oh,
Chouette.
Yeah, Chouette. So it's Chouette. It's a French word. So it literally translates to owl, like the animal, the wise. Yes, the wise bird.
Very vicious bird.
But if you go to France, chouette is a slang term. So it means something that's cool or hip or chic. So you'll hear a lot of people go, oh, like, c'est chouette. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And I learned it while I was taking a French class to better understand my wife and her family. So we are French owned because my wife is French. And even though I have that Irish last name.
There you go.
So yeah, I was studying it to better talk to her. So in that way, it relates to our love story a little bit. Since we work so much with these couples and tell theirs. Yeah. Why not tell a little bit of ours?
Yes, please.
And I just loved the idea that it like connotates this wise decision, like it's an owl, but it's also really cool. So it's like, if you shop with us, you're smart and you're cool.
Boom, son. Mic drop. Yeah. Damn, that's super cool. Was your wife born in France?
She was. Yeah, she was born in Strasbourg. That's on the like German border. Yeah.
Damn. I think I told you this. Like I lived in France. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, in Aix-en-Provence, in the south of France.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got to live there for a while. I was supposed to be there for a year. I was only there for 3 months. I got expelled from the school. So yeah. I was being aggressive.
Not being Chouette.
Not being Chouette. I mean, I think I was pretty Chouette. I mean, because for all intents and purposes, I wrote a paper on the French Revolution, and the teacher at my school failed me on the test, because I don't know if she described to you how they do testing in schools there. I mean, I can't speak for all schools, but when I went to school there, I was in high school still, so I wasn't like college or anything like that. But I went to an international school, and we would do all of our tests on the weekends.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah. And it was all of your tests for all of you. Like, so they would tell you like all your classes, and it was block format. So it was very much like college when I was in high school. It wasn't used to it. Cause like, here it's like first period through sixth period, lunch done. There would be, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you had French the way we have English here. And that would be like 1.5 2 hour block. And then you would have like 2 more classes for the day, and then that'd be it. But like, be like, hey, your test is going to be on Saturday. It's like, all right, cool. So you would some people would be testing from like 7 to maybe like 3 in the afternoon, like a full school day. because you get like an X amount of time to do your test. But like that one test I had, it was like 2 hours, and that was it. So I ended up going back, and the dude, Mr. Walker, was a British guy, and
It's the Brits, man.
Dude, the fucking Brits, bro. And he,
Damn.
dude, he fucking basically failed me, and me being, you know, young and full of piss, you know, hot piss, whatever, just whatever that term is. I like was sitting there, and two, I mean, very much like here in the States, like you see kids. I mean, I don't know now because I'm not in high school, but like back in the day, I would wear sweats, skate shoes, and a hoodie, and like my headphones would most likely be around my neck. Like
You're
old
like,
school.
you're making me roll in on a Saturday. You're gonna get.
No, this was every day.
Oh.
This was most every day. No, this was like a couple days a week at least. It'd be like, damn, I'm not getting dressed today. I'm wearing sweats and a hoodie. Like, let's go. But this one day, I went to school there, and in French culture, again, I don't know how it is now, but when I was 17, damn, almost 20 years ago. Whoa. When I was 17, living there, they told me, they're like, you know, Cajon, like, you don't leave your house looking like you do right now. Like, you have to look nice. You do your hair. You do these things. Like, you look presentable. And I was like, okay, fine. But I'm still just going to do what I'm going to do. So I went to school that day, and he failed me. And I was like, why are you doing this? And he's like, you didn't quote me in my paper, or in your paper. I was like, why would I quote you? You didn't write the book. He's like, I mean, seems logical to me. So I still to this day, I think that's a very logical question. But like, I was like, yo, what? You didn't write the book. Why am I going to quote you? He's like, because I gave you the lecture. And I was like, that's not how it works, bro. And that's what I said to him. And he was
Interesting.
He was like, no, here, you have to quote me. And unless you do, you're getting an F. And I was like, bro, it's on the French Revolution. I've already done this in high school. I did this in my sophomore year in high school when I was 15, bro. I know how the French Revolution works, or how it went. Which, ironically,
which we about to recreate right now.
Yeah, I was like, bro, dude, it literally, which was actually kind of funny. It was pretty much very similar, but there was actually some differences. Like the French had a different version of the French Revolution than the Americans have, and I was like, this is fair. This is actually pretty interesting. I remember like reading it. My mom, like in our apartment, I was like, Mom, look at this. It's so crazy. This didn't happen in the American version, you know.
They gave us the watered down shit.
Yeah, they gave us the watered down shit for sure. But he said something, and we were going back and forth, and then he's like, that's so typical. You're just a stupid American. And he was like hating on my hair. He was how it was undone, and how my clothes were inappropriate, and how I just didn't look right, and da 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 da. And he's like, and you have your headphones around your neck. And I was like, okay, granted, I'll give you the headphones. I should probably take those off. But I was like,
nothing has changed.
Yeah, I was just
right. I'm looking at you with your headphones on right now,
dude. And it was a fucking foresight. It was like, but yeah, he said some shit to me, and once he said stupid American, I was like. I was like, what did you say? And he was like, you're just a stupid American. I was like, say it one more time. And he was like, you're a stupid American. I stood up. As I stood up, I flipped over the desk, and I kicked over the chair. And then like I fucking was like, call me. I was like, you fucking stupid American? Fuck you, bro. Like I was holding up and I was like, I flipped him off. And then I remember I was like, oh, you don't know what that means because you're British. And I fucking put up my other finger, and I was like, read between the lines, you fuck. And I was like, you understand that, right? And he was just like, and there was only 2 other kids in my class. There was a kid from Scotland in my right, and there was a kid from France to my left. And the
Scottish guy was like, fuck him up.
Dude, the Scottish guy was just like, yo, like he was like tripping. And
my Irish ass would have been in the back like, yeah, get him.
Get him. Dude. You fucking Brit. But dude, yeah, it was in that day. I mean, I moved shortly after that, because then the dude called my mom a stupid American the next day at my school.
No,
dude, and you piss off Mama Bear, oh bro, I don't want to be you. Nope, not gonna happen. But yeah, that was
Chouette.
the school. That was not Chouette, but France in itself, and living in Aix-en-Provence, like I loved it. It was so cool. And I mean, there was just so much cool, like the food there. Stop
unreal.
It. Stop it.
And it's like you could just get a lunch special at like a local random spot, and it's like, oh, just the plate of the day is like cheap, and it's something fucking incredible
Like,
that you'd pay, $60 for down here.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I used to get the torpedo sandwiches, like little French baguette with the little
yes.
sandwiches and the little baby pickles in there.
The cornichon.
Is that what they're called?
Uh-huh.
Dude, yo, they were so fire, and I would always walk down there, and then there was like the patisserie right on the corner
Yes.
by my house. So I'd walk down there, and the tarts, they made their tarts fresh every day, and it was like this like beautiful custard on the inside. Didn't taste like custard. It tasted like how it should, and I've never had it.
You just can't find that here.
That's what I would.
No, it's not.
That's what I'm
okay,
saying.
so here's a pro tip though, because French pastry shops or patisserie around here, anytime it's like truly French, it tends to be like way too expensive, right?
Yeah.
Look for a Vietnamese bakery.
Okay.
That is the key. That is the hack, because Vietnam was occupied by the French. So they got some cooking techniques from the French, and now you can get like really high quality baked goods from Vietnamese shops.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So Vietnamese food is also fire.
Oh, super fire.
But that's quite a fusion right there. But
Yeah.
that's the key.
Dude, the you know which tarts I'm talking about, right? Where they have like that sugar glaze on top, and it just, my mom, oh my God, I'll never forget this. When I was going to the airport to go fly back here to the States, she bought me a bag, and she's like, "Here, sweetie." And it was the blueberry, my favorite one, and then it was the strawberry one. That was my other favorite one. She's like, "I got you 2 tarts for your ride." So I was like, "Damn, I'm never gonna have these again." Like, I was like, "Fuck, these are so." I was like, "Mom, thank you so much." And like, it was so. And Nutella. That's where I discovered Nutella.
Oh.
The Nutella wasn't even here yet. It wasn't even here yet. And when I was
so
living
funny.
there, and I was like, I remember the day I saw Nutella in like Vaughn's or something, and I was like,
We've
"Oh,
made it.
shit." I was like, "It's here," dude. And then like I don't know if they still do it, but like we had like a little baby ass fridge, like 'cause they don't refrigerate their milk.
Or their eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, the eggs are just like out in the grocery store, but it's like it's a different system.
It's a different way of life too, because
Yeah.
they have markets every day. Everybody's
I was gonna
like
say
shopping
people
fresh.
shop every day.
Every
That's the
day.
thing. Is like you're not supposed to get a bunch of eggs to have for 2 weeks in your
Yeah,
fridge.
no.
You're supposed to get like a little 6-pack, and it stays out, and you cook it that night in your quiche, and that's it. And then you go the next day to get whatever the fresh thing is the next day.
Yep.
So it's like it's a very different way of life.
And the baguettes too. Like,
man.
dude, the little hack on the baguette. You leave it overnight, and you wrap the paper towel with a little bit of water, and then it's like all fresh again. Like,
I was not aware of this. I was just
dude,
like,
yeah.
yep, just crunch that up, make breadcrumbs, or make French toast, pain perdu, as they call it.
Pompidou.
That literally translates to lost bread. It's so funny that we're over here calling it French toast and the French are calling it lost bread.
Dude, hey.
I mean, it makes sense.
I have a question, and it was actually more of a statement, but it was a question. I was in Seoul, South Korea, and I was with like 9 homies. It was somewhere around 9, and it was like one of those random things where half of our people were like just like had a layover or something like that, and then there was also like some people who were staying with us for a couple more days, and so we're all hanging around. We're like, what are we gonna do? You know, some of the people are here for like 10 hours, and then we're gonna, let's do something all together as a crew. We're like, damn, let's get some barbecue, like Korean barbecue. And I was like in the back, and I was like, I thought I was like not the only one who thought this way, but like I was sitting in the back, I was like, is it still Korean barbecue when we're in Korea? I was like,
it's just barbecue.
That was just barbecue. And they were like, God, Cajon, it's such a stupid question. And I was like, do you think, I mean, it's like, is that a stupid question? Because I was like, we're in Korea. I was like, I don't see an American barbecue spot. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to call it American barbecue. They're probably just like, I mean, maybe they would. But like, I was like, is it just barbecue? And they're like, oh yeah, we're just going to get some barbecue. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, now I know. In Korea, it's not Korean barbecue. It's barbecue. And I was like...
I mean, makes sense.
Valid. But at the time, I was like, I'm just going to voice a stupid question because I have a million. Always. I'm just going to actually talk this one into the out loud, because most of the time, I'm thinking about so many different things at once. It's like my brain will overload. Like, fuck. Like, too many questions. Like, I'm always even just asking myself, like, why are you doing this? Like, dude, it's kind of bad. Either way. But yeah, like the French thing is super cool. I mean, do you go back a lot?
I mean, we haven't been in a while because international trips have been a little tricky lately. But I mean, we are overdue for a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, when you go back, do you just
her
go
whole
to
family is there, except for like her immediate family's here. So mom, dad, brother, sister are in the States.
Yeah.
But aunts, uncles, grandparents, all the cousins, and like we'll go back and like go like we'll pal around Europe with them when we can go. Like we did a big biking trip with her family. It's so dope.
Like riding bikes or like motorcycles?
No, I don't know.
Oh.
Don't ask me to get on a motorcycle. But no, we biked from Austria to Budapest a few years back.
What country is it? Hungary?
Yeah.
Is that Hungary?
Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
So yeah, we went from Vienna to Budapest.
How long is that?
It like 250 miles or something like that.
Damn, son.
I mean, we broke it up. You know?
I mean,
I didn't just do
yeah,
that on one day.
It's like, yeah, it was just a random Monday.
But it's cool that like in Europe, you can just kind of like go all over the place when you're over there. It's so different than the States.
Yes. I was in Italy, and I remember it was Spain. I don't know. I was in somewhere. I think it was in Italy. I went to like a coffee shop and there was like all the little pastries and stuff. And I was like looking at it. I was like, oh my God. And I heard the dude speaking English, but I was like, I wanted to learn. I don't want to be a typical American. Cause like one thing I've noticed in all my travels throughout the world, there's two types of Americans, North Americans, cause South Americans are super fucking dope. But North Americans, when they go travel, you have your very respectable Americans who like they try to speak the language or they're trying to be nice and like don't make us look bad. And then there's the fucking other Americans,
the sweatpant wearing,
dude, yeah, those
headphone around the neck,
dude,
just flipping the bird at the Brits,
dude. You know, as I should.
You come full circle,
dude. Yes,
you've been both sides of the coin.
Yes, because the one thing is like I'm big on respect, but I'm also big on disrespect. If you disrespect me, because like I'll give you what you give, kind of thing. And
it's just matching energy.
Exactly. And so when I'm there, I've seen it, and it's like the dudes like at the bar, and they're just like being obnoxious. There's obnoxious Americans. That's what I was trying to say. But I want to, whenever I'm in a country, I want to try to speak that. And I remember the guy at the patisserie place, and he's like, what are you trying to say? He's like, in English. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I wanted to order in Italian, my bad. He's like, do you speak Spanish? I was like, yeah. And he's like, you want to speak English? Do you want to speak Spanish? Do you want to speak Italian? I got German too. And he's like, whichever language you want, I can do it. And I was like, fuck, English, I guess. Like, I was like, fuck.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, and I was like super shook, and he just started laughing, and I just remember walking out with my ex-wife, and I was like, dude, fuck, like, we are so limited here, man. Like, people there, because the countries are so close, they have to speak like 4 or 5 languages.
Well, it's like you've heard that joke, right? Where it's like, what do you call somebody who speaks 3 languages? Trilingual. What do you call someone who speaks 2 languages?
Bilingual.
And what do you call someone who speaks 1 language?
American.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's us.
Dude, that sucks.
I know.
That sucks.
I mean, luckily in San Diego, I feel like we get a lot more practice with Spanish.
Oh, dude,
being like 15 minutes from the border.
Yeah. I agree.
But yeah, the rest of our nation, God help them.
Dude,
get on that Duolingo. Get the owl. Dude,
I have Duolingo.
Get the Chouette.
I learned so much shit from that. Speaking to my customers, going to Mexico every weekend. It's like you can immerse yourself fully here. And then if like, you know, I've had, you know, girls that I've dated or girlfriends that are Hispanic, so they'll only speak to me in Spanish, like straight from like Guadalajara or Puerto Rico or Tijuana, and it's like, dude, yes, like this is so sick. Like keep speaking to me in Spanish, please. Yes. Like I love it, and that just helps with everything along the path. But also growing up in a Mexican household, so it's like everything's beneficial, but it's yeah, man. My friend Merrick. Shout out to my homie Merrick Zapraji. He lives in Barcelona now, but he's from Prague, and when I met him on his first day in the United States, like he literally got off the plane because we were skating for the same sponsor. He didn't know anybody, and the team manager of the company was like, "Hey, he's gonna stay with you." And I was like, "Okay." He ended up staying with me for 3 months, and he barely spoke English, like at all. So I was like helping him learn to speak, and then he's told me, I was like, "How many languages do you speak, Merrick?" And he said, "I speak Czech, I speak English now. He speaks German, and now he speaks fluent Spanish because he lives in Barcelona. His girlfriend is from the north of Spain, and dude, his accent, he has such an Eastern European accent.
It's like you hear about these Karens who like get on top of people for like having an accent, and it's like, come on, man, like an accent just shows that you can speak multiple languages.
Yeah.
It's so nuts dope. That it's like you expect everyone to speak like perfect English just for you, but yet you don't like learn any other language your whole entire life. Like, give me a break.
And you think they're stupid because they don't know how to speak the language, but yet they're speaking 2 upwards to 4 languages. Like, you know how smart that person is?
Yeah.
Like, bro, they're way smarter than you, Karen. Need to chill. Chad, relax over there, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's so funny though. The thing with accents too, specifically, is that like Merrick, when he speaks English, he has a very thick Eastern European accent. But when he speaks Spanish, it's beautiful. I mean, like, yo, when like he just like flows with it. I'm like, how do you not have an? But then his girlfriend's like, no, he has an accent, but you just can't tell. And I was like, this is true. This is true. But yeah, I mean, my voice changes when I speak Spanish too. It doesn't sound the same. But it also, my voice didn't sound the same when I was speaking French either. Like, it's just like, bonjour, je m'appelle Cajon, like, enchanté.
I feel like the French speak like a little lower. Like, and then you lose half the letters. So, you know, yeah. French, it's so funny because I studied Spanish for like 17 years in school. Like, I started in kindergarten, and then I like lived abroad in Costa Rica for a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Damn.
A long time ago. But I studied all this Spanish, and then I gave my sister shit because she picked French to learn in high school.
Yeah.
And of course now she's like, "Hey, how's that French going?" Like, you know, because I'm learning it for my in-laws. And it's so interesting where it's like Spanish, every single letter that is written is said. It's pronounced.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
In French, like throw half that shit away.
Yeah.
You know, so it was such a like it was so hard at first coming from having learned Spanish to try and learn French, because it's like I gotta relearn how to say everything, how to even pronounce the word that's written in front of me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nuts.
There are some similarities.
French people are crazy,
dude. They are. But dude, and when they speak though, did you ever see the Matrix, like the original Matrix? One scene when they go see the guy and he's like, out of all the languages, he's like, I like to speak French the most. He's like, because he's like, you could say, like, he says something and he's like, and it was basically like, I wipe my ass or something. It's like, and it sounds like silk, you know? It's like, dude.
Meanwhile, it's like you say the same thing. You say like, I love you in German, and you're like, oh man, that's why'd it come out so aggressive?
Yeah, super aggressive, dude. Yeah, oh man, I love French. I wish I would have kept speaking it because I was fluent. I would like my mom. I think my mom still speaks French because she was there for the whole year. But we've been speaking French for long time, and I'd been speaking French for a long time leading up to that. But after that whole, reenactment of the French Revolution, I got it in my head. So stupid. I got it in my head that I was like, I'm never speaking French again. Like, fuck this place. Like, I can't believe this. And in my head, I was like, it wasn't even the country. It was like this. It was this British guy. Yeah.
Man.
That was super aggro about it. But then also when I came back, I had nobody to speak French with anymore. I mean,
We're going to change that on Saturday.
Dude, I'm down. I was in Tahiti. Have you been to Tahiti?
No.
You know they were owned. It's French Polynesia.
I did know that they were colonized by the French.
I did not know that till I got there, and I didn't even know that they only speak French there. So when I showed up, I was like, "Oh shit, it's Hawaii, but French." Like, it's like you see like the aunties and the like the locals and like fucking. I was just like, they look just like Hawaii, but I was like, yeah, this is Polynesia colony, stupid. Like, I'm having this conversation in my head, and I'm like, but then you see like the Molk like auntie walking, but then she has a baguette in her hand, and I was like, it's not like Hawaii. Because I was like, because then you see like the Polynesian tats, but then they're just speaking beautiful French, and like they're like, oh, like, and I was just like, fuck yeah. But I remember the first time I introduced it, because I was there for fighting, I was like, I went up to the fighters and I was like, yo, je m'appelle Cajon, and they're like, you speak French? And I was like, parlez-vous français? And I was like, no, not anymore. And I was like, I lived in Aix-en-Provence, and they're like, ah, oui. They're like, your accent is so good. And I was like, oh, thanks. Like, but I was like, that's literally like, I have like 4 words left. It's like, that's it. That's all I have. But it went like, I imagine it's like what anybody, you go into any other country, like, you know, you talk to Hispanic families here, and they only speak English when they're out and about, but when they're at home, they speak Spanish. It's like, I was speaking French every day, all day, at school, with my friends, everything. But then when I went home, I was only speaking English because I was like, my mom was there. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. But it was like, that's the one time I wish I would just kept the French. Like, dude, I was on it. Like, I was like,
although, I mean, at least around here, it's like the odds of you running into somebody who's like French and doesn't speak English is a lot lower than running into somebody who's like Mexican and doesn't speak English.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you may actually really need the Spanish.
No, dude,
so
I have 2 customers
I still have
here.
that argument with my sister. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad I picked it because it's useful.
Oh, dude, 100%. Like, I mean, I have 2 customers here that literally don't speak any English, and they walk in and they just like, they found out that I spoke Spanish, and they were like, oh, gracias. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Like, you know, we'll speak and like, we'll hang out. And then they just go about their business. And like one of the ladies, she was like, it's so nice that you speak Spanish. And I was like, yeah, no worries. And she's like, can you help me with my English? I was like, yeah, of course. And she's like, I'll help you with your Spanish. And I was like, tight. And so we would just like, she'll come in and she's super nice, very pleasant lady. But it's just amazing. And then going down to Mexico, I mean, like the food and everything over there, God. It's like, same.
We're so spoiled.
Really
right here.
I refuse to eat tacos here though now. Like I won't eat tacos here. It's like, no, I'm just gonna go down to TJ. Like I'm not gonna $5 for a taco here.
Mean, fair.
And then you go down there, it's 30 pesos. Like.
But then sometimes I don't want to wait in that line to come back.
Oh, you don't have global entry?
Not yet. I gotta get my shit together.
You gotta get that, yo. Real talk. Like car or walking across, global entry is life changing. Like 15 minutes at the border. On a busy ass day when I drove across, I was like, yeah, I'm going to use that from now on.
Okay, pro tip.
Yeah, super pro tip. And any international. So if you're coming back from France, ain't no more line in that custom. You go right to that global entry line. There's never anybody in it. And then you just go, toot, toot, done. You're through, and you got to wait. And you're just like, you snickering at them. Stupid.
With my sweatpants and my headphones. Suckers.
Yep. Super comfy. Got my neck pillow still on. Like, you know. Oh, my goodness. Sorry. I digress. But, dude, we've done an hour and a half. I usually try to keep it about an hour and a half. So, I mean, any future plans? Like, what are we... we're talking about the pop-up. So we have a pop-up this Saturday.
Yes.
What can people expect when they come and see you this Saturday?
So we've got 2 collections that you can shop now that we have ring sizes in stock in your size. So we stock ring sizes 4.5 to 15. We have multiple bracelet sizes, and then we've got some longer necklace options too. Just because, you know, that 16-inch necklace is a choker on me, so it might be on you as well. So that is what you can expect here. You can also scope out our custom work. I will bring that that binder that I was talking about earlier that has pictures of some of the work that we've done. So you can see some of the engagement rings if that's like on your radar. If you just want to come chat it up and ask me more questions about gemstones or whatever, like, you know, I want to meet more people and grow the business and hopefully eventually have a spot down here as well.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what you can expect.
Hell,
Maybe you can practice some French with my wife.
Oh, dude, yeah, I'm super excited. I'm going to definitely say exactly what I said. Enchanté, je m'appelle. Like, I'm going to get it, and then I'm going to be dialed. I'll do some, I don't use the French Duolingo that I have, but, like, I remember when I was going to Tahiti, I, like, was, like, trying to refresh. And, like, I remember when I was learning French, like, when I was super young, like, maybe, like, God, I was, like, 13, I think, when I started speaking French. I remember, je ne sais pas. Like, and I was like, I don't know. And I was like, oh, I know this one. And I was like, dude, I just
It'll come back.
Madame Kamei. That was my teacher. She was my professor or whatever, Madame Kamei, for 4 years. That lady hated me. But then when I told her I was moving to France, she was like, you're actually going? And I was like, yeah. She's like, and then she was like so nice to me. But then when I came back, she was like,
what happened?
Back. Yeah, she's like, what happened? And I was like,
Qu'est-ce que vous faites?
Dude,
what have you done?
Dude, when I told her what happened, then she just looked at me. She's like, oh, God. It just like, she was just shaking her head. She was bummed, but it was fine. Shout out to Madame Kamei. But so where else can the people find you? Obviously TikTok, big TikTok following. Instagram too?
Yeah. So it's the same handle on both accounts.
Okay.
Chouette Designs. So Chouette Designs.
Okay.
And then same website. So chouettedesigns.com. You can find us on there as well. Yeah. And then here on Saturday.
And at any SG Chamber of Commerce mixer.
Right. I'll be scoping it out for other tattooed people.
Yep.
Like, where are the people not in the suits? Yeah. Not that I have anything against people in suits. I've made good connections with the suits too. But
of course.
saying.
Yeah, I like not wearing the suits, and I also eye out the people who are not wearing the suits. I'm just like, or the polo shirt. I mean, well, I had a polo shirt on, but like, not tucked in. There we go. Tucked in with the belt buckle. Like,
you can tell like who's gonna be your people.
Yeah. Exactly right. So, all right. Well, dude, Ashley, thank you so much, and like, thank you for the educational podcast.
Yeah,
that was
awesome.
Super dope. Made this time go by really fast. Sometimes, I mean, I'm not gonna say any names, but sometimes there's conversations that I'll have, and it's like. This is really hard to keep going, but this was not one of them.
Oh, good, thank God. I was like, oh no, I can't let you down.
No, you were killing it, dude. I'm genuinely, the Russian diamonds, blood diamonds now, like, dude, that's crazy. I'm still blown away. India, Punjabi.
We gotta go get Indian food after this.
Dude, I had Indian food the last 2 days. It was so good. Okay.
Shout out to India.
Dude, shout out. Okay. Well, and I also say, like, how I'll wrap it up is like, once you're on the podcast, you're never not going to be on the podcast again. So anytime, you want to, have a new design or have new cool stories or just want to catch up, like, always come through the show. And guys, please come through this Saturday. And you'll be here from, was it 9 to 2? Yeah. 9 to 2 all day.
9 to 2. Let's do it.
Come and buy some jewelry. All right. Ashley, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Peace. Yes, thank you so much, Ashley. That was such a fun conversation. So informative, so educational. Dude, I love conversations like that. It was just so rad. Ashley, thank you again so much. And guys, do not miss her pop-up this Saturday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. here in front of the shop. She's going to have everything she talked about on the podcast. And if you want to see more, go to the website, chouettedesigns.com, or check out her TikTok or the Instagram, all underneath the same tag. And yeah, I'm just super excited to have her coming through this Saturday, and it was just a great conversation. So Ashley, thank you again. Appreciate you, girl. And guys, I just want to say thank you to everyone around the world who continues to support Caffeine and Green week in, week out, listening, coming into the shop, buying coffee, buying whole bags of coffee. Honestly, guys, thank you. I say it every week, but every week I mean it, just that much more. And just, yeah, without y'all, this isn't possible. So guys, thank you again. And I will see you next week. Peace.